Day 1013 off the grid. The day after Vikey's birthday, and I've had a chance this afternoon, it's been a reasonably nice day, to make some further inroads on the wind turbine. Now, one thing that's been stopping me from putting the turbine up is the fact that I haven't got a control panel, so over the last couple of days I've been slowly piecing that together. And this is the point I've got to now. I've found all my main components here. So this is a combiner. Bought this ages ago from JCar on special. It takes those wafer fuses, which I've got to get a couple of them. This is going to combine the wind and the solar output of the 24 volt system, and then the battery will connect to here. This here is going to be the main wind breaker. These are 20 amp breakers. They should take a little bit more than 20 amps before they trip. I don't think we'll see much more than 5 amps from the Windmill, so I think they're going to be fine. If they're not, well, it's a problem that I'm kind of fortunate to have. Now, luckily my Windmill's got an automatic thing in it. If the circuit goes open, it will attempt to control its own speed internally because it's full of sophisticated electronics. But the idea of this is that these two breakers are symmetrical, so I'm mounting them back to back, and I've got this interlock bar here that'll go in here. Doesn't really work until I bolt it down, and it means that only one can be on at a time. So one of them will be a fairly conventional on-off switch breaker, this one here, which will turn the power on and off to the system from the Windmill, and this one here will be a shorting breaker, which will short the Windmill out to itself when it's off, so that it doesn't overspin in the wind if it's not being used. And this interlock will make sure that only one of these can be activated at a time, because otherwise you'd be shorting out the battery. In my quick test with a meter, little Owen meter over here, I've found that it's possible to achieve a third position of this, which is both of them off, which is fine as long as both of them can't be on, but I don't think that situation exists. And it's definitely a break before make arrangement too, which of course is what you want. You wouldn't want it any other way, because I really don't want to be popping any of these fuses, because these wafer fuses that are going to be installed in here are bloody expensive. So of course you want to know how much current your Windmill's making. Well, I found this ammeter. This one I've chosen because of its ease of mounting. It's basically got these really long connection terminals here, which also function as the physical mount. So all I've got to do is drill a couple of holes in this board at the right spacing, and this will mount, you know, flat to the board. Be really nice. This shunt I got on special from JCar quite some time ago. I actually picked up 2 of them. It's a 100 amp shunt of 100 millivolts at full current. I found that connecting this meter, which is 2 milliamps full scale, I can calibrate it to read 40 amps full scale, which should be more than enough. 20 amps would probably be enough. 30 amps would probably be more sensible to give you a bit of leeway for gusts or whatever, but 40 amps is alright. I've just got to apply a factor of times 20 to the scale when I read it, but of course after a while you just ignore that and you just see where the pointer is, and if it's sort of not where you expect it normally to be, then you might think something's wrong. So yeah, that'll be alright. Nice vintage meter, old as the hills, you know, pretty cool. This shunt didn't come with any real mounting method, so I had to devise my own. So I found these couple of little steel brackets here, and I'll just screw that onto the board like that, and it'll just hold there like that. That'll be cool. Of course, the only thing is that the mountings are also the meter takeoffs, but yeah, that's alright. So that's basically it. There's my board. There's my day, YouTube. Yeah, but there's my board. I'm not going to mount any of these further now because I just want to put another coat of linseed oil on here. This is a board that Owen gave me, so it was already cut with those squared off corners and beveled off whatever it is corners, so I just gave it a bit of a sand and there we go. And there'll be some room up here if I want to install an external shunt controller or something like that for the Windmill in the future, if I find that the onboard regulator is not sufficient or I have problems with it or whatever. I've got a bit of room there to work with. So there we have it, day 1013 off the grid.